we should be live. So, a couple things. One is I watched my live stream back from this morning and I realized a couple things. One being that my stream is really laggy, and so if that ever happens, please let me know and I'll restart my computer and see if that helps. But in the future, I'll probably just have to get a better computer. Right now, I just use my laptop. So if restarting it doesn't help, then there's not much else I can really do. And then the other thing I noticed is I need to have things be simpler for someone who has no idea what I'm talking about. And so that's something that I'm really going to work on. With all of that in mind, let's review price action for today and talk about what happened. Now, I'm going to try my best to make a short form video and a market recap, but I get up super early. I have to go to the gym. I try and go to the gym before trading, so like I know time that's like ridiculously early. I'm not gonna say what time because I'm like it's ridiculous, but like I genuinely like I don't know. I want to feel good for trading, and going to the gym before trading actually helps a lot with that. So what I'm trying to say is I have to get to bed at some point soon. So if I'm gonna get up super early, like I'm wanting to, so I'm going to ideally, I don't know. Hopefully I'll be able to film stuff, but man, I don't know. We'll see. With all that in mind, let's talk about today. So today was interesting because we had this consolidation, and I was saying how this was the clear consolidation of the day. We had Asia just forming a tight range, and then I thought maybe we'd come down to London, but you can see we actually did not need to come down to London. And that kind of makes sense because look at where the majority of the trading happened. It happened in this range here. So coming down, sweeping out these lows, already stopped most people out. They don't really need to come all the way down. So let's talk about specifics on what happened. So we come down, we sweep Asia's lows. Check that out. And initially, I was thinking that we were going to have a sell model. So we swept out New York AM's highs. I was thinking that we were going to come down and target Asia's lows and New York PM's lows. Now, what ended up happening is we only need to sweep Asia. So let's see. How should we start with journaling this? Let's go on the higher time frame first. So let's go to the other screen and we'll map out the higher time frame. So once again, on the higher time frame, as I said before, we ended up getting an SMT with this low. So if you go to the S&P 500, you can see there's the low on the S&P 500, and there's that current low. And then over here on the NASDAQ, we have that same low, and then we make a lower low instead of a higher low. So we get SMT there, and so that is kind of the whole thesis for why I've been saying we might expect a move higher in the next couple days. As well, we left a nice regular trading hours gap above, so I'm expecting this to get filled. We're about halfway there right now, so we still got a ways to go if we're gonna fill this. So yeah, back to the main chart here. I really don't like these chart colors. Like, I'm trying to get used to these, but I'm not sure I like them. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do about that, but that's okay. It's just not, I don't love it. Maybe it'll grow on me. We'll see. Yeah, like I said, we have this giant overnight gap that is wanting to get filled. The market, we got this SMT. We reacted off this daily key level, this daily rejection block. Yeah, like my computer is so laggy. I just wish maybe I just need a better computer, I guess. So yeah, going down to the lower time frame. I'll pull up the S&P on the other screen so I can look for SMTs. And I guess maybe YM as well. So we got pretty clear AMD going into the day, where this is accumulation, manipulation, and then distribution. And where do we manipulate to? Well, we have this 2 hour order block. So you can mark this out like this. And this is something I should have marked out. I don't know why I didn't have this out. But you can see this 2 hour order block was a key level. And market respected this area. Still trying to get YM pulled up here. Yeah, I think, like, as much as I want to get everything filmed today, I'm not going to get enough sleep. And I think getting enough sleep is most important right now. And that way I can get into a habit and a routine going forward of getting everything filmed and that kind of stuff. But, like, I just want to make sure I get enough sleep. So, like I was saying, looking for SMTs with YM. So we ended up getting an SMT with YM here. So with this low, maybe it was this low, with this low. So that was interesting. And then we got a bullish SMT here. Nothing crazy though. Man, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of the color. Let's see if we can get. Let's just see if we like. Is this better? But I like this blue, but the problem is it does not go well with this outline. I don't know. I feel like I think better with this. Honestly, it's just what I'm used to. Is there a way to change the outline, the outside of this? I don't know, but I'm gonna keep it on the blue. I think the blue looks a little better. It's kind of gross colors, but whatever. I don't know what else to do. It's fine. Okay. So let's take a look at some of the trades that the other guys took in the group chat. Now, I'm not gonna lie, this 5-minute inversion was actually not bad at all. I personally, you could have definitely taken this why didn't I take this? I was looking for a close above the breaker, right? My initial thought was, okay, I want to see a close above the breaker, but I wasn't even realizing that, like, you could probably just take this inversion, this IPG, and with how good it looks, you could probably just take this and go break even here. Actually, yeah, that would work. So you really could have done this and targeted this LRLR, and you would have got a 2.5 to 1, which would have been a lot better trade than the one that I got. So that's okay though. Yeah. What I did was fine. Essentially, I took this inversion, right? I took this one higher up, and it's a little more risky. I wanted to put my stop loss below the breaker in case we wanted to retest it. So I literally had like really weird RR. I had an RR something like this. Yeah, it wasn't like the best looking trade, but I figured we were gonna go up to this LRLR. If I were to redo this, I would have taken this inversion instead. But it was hard to realize in the moment that this was gonna become an inversion at the time. In hindsight, it's really obvious because this is a clear accumulation range. Once we get down here, it's like, oh, there's only so much more sell side liquidity left. So it's going to turn on itself. And you can see that's exactly what it did. So let's look at trades from other people in the Discord. You could have also taken, yeah, I mean, essentially, like, I wanted to get a close like this. This is what I was hoping for. I was hoping for the close to be like this. Then I could have taken it with pretty good RR. I could have taken it like this, and this would have been like a 4 to 1, right? A 2.5 to 1. But instead, we closed all the way up here, and so my RR just went absolutely down the drain. So I don't know what I should have done differently. We'll try and figure it out. Let's take a look at Trading Floor at FA. I don't know what he's saying. So back to what I was saying. You could have even taken this closure, and that would have been probably fine. And as well, I think we were delivering from check that out. We went to the session bearish distribution level 2. That's crazy. So I think we were delivering from, it was either a new day opening gap or a new week opening gap. I guess a new day opening gap. So we're the candle bodies. It's important to pay attention to how the candle bodies respect these, because look at this. Candle bodies respect this really well. So yeah, always pay attention to that. So 2 p.m. PO3. He took this on the S&P 500, but you could have also taken this on the NASDAQ, where you have a breaker. I guess he calls this an OB, but I would consider this a breaker, this up close candle, and then a fair value gap, and also an inverse fair value gap. And so we retest that, and then boom, shoots right up. So that's this trade right here. This is how I would take it. This is the one that AJ took. And yeah, I would take it like this, where we have this breaker. I would enter on the breaker or the close above, or either the close above or the retest. You pick. Stop loss. I'd probably put stop loss like something like here. Now, yeah, realistically, I'd probably enter on the close because we're so close. Might as well. And then I think I would just, since we have this new day opening gap here, I would just target this new day opening gap. This would be a 1-to-1 for me, but if I were to take this, this is what I would do. And yeah, we're also delivering from a new day opening gap, which is pretty sweet. And we're delivering from a fair value gap. So this is how I would take this. I think this would have been a good trade. We got pretty clear A. I'm going to start maybe marking out accumulation as candle bodies, because that's really what it is, right? The candle bodies is the majority of the area where people bought and sold. The wicks, it's kind of irrelevant. We're focused on the bodies. That's where the majority of people bought and sold, right? So we went below that, right? And then accumulation, manipulation, and then distribution higher. And if I measure this out, standard deviations, boom, boom. We go right to the 2 to 2.5. Maybe could have even measured it like this. I don't know. I'm finding AJ measured it. I don't know. Everyone measures it differently, but I think from here to here is fine. That's what I would do, from the body to the wick, and you get 2 to 2.5 lined up there. So very, very cool. Good trade from AJ. Now, yeah. So I believe this is the one Jan took, or did he? Let's see. Today at 11:50. 11:31 a.m. Okay, Jan took this. Okay, and it ended up being break even. So let's take a look at this. The thought process makes sense because we're way high up, but I think the important thing about the trade that he took is it's important to pay attention to the higher time frame, right? I was only looking for shorts down here because we had just so much liquidity below. But once we started moving higher, I know we're delivering from a bullish SMT, we're delivering from a rejection block, we've got good liquidity above. Once we get closures above, I think at that point, we're probably going to deliver higher. So, I mean, maybe that's just me talking, but I think, yeah, because maybe you could have gone back down, but once we get closes above, I'm probably looking for expansion later. I would think that would be the top. I don't think we'd come back down. I don't know. That might just be me talking, though. Yeah. So anyway, he takes this inversion back down. I kind of see what he was going for here. He was just going for those lows. I believe this was an inversion back down, right? Or did he enter on like a breaker? Maybe he entered on the breaker and for value gap. I'm not actually sure. 1 minute. He entered on the 1 minute. Yeah. He might have entered on the breaker and for value gap here. This is a good breaker and for value gap. I would have taken profit at this LRLR here. If I was trading this, I'd have taken profit at this LRLR. This was a good trade. This was actually really good. We have pretty good liquidity here. Man, this would have been good. And then we have a down close candle. That's a breaker. We have a fair value gap. So I would have highlighted this. This is a breaker. And then I would have highlighted this. This is a fair value gap. And yeah, this would have been a win. So the trade that Jan took, he was targeting all the way down here. But like, this is a massive fair value gap, and we're expanding to the upside. I just don't know if I would have. I think like when you start expanding like this, you're probably gonna expand the rest of the day. I don't think. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe he had a good reason for it. Like maybe there was a key level, but I probably wouldn't have looked for shorts here. Unless it was a scalp like this, which this scalp would have worked out nicely. What is going on? Why won't it load? Okay. And yeah, in this case, you could literally have your stop above the breaker, and then this would be really good RR. This would be really, really fantastic RR. I'd take profit at the end of the candle bodies, as always, because it's the new technique, man. Like, there's no reason to target the wicks anymore. It's so pointless. Like, you can just target the bodies, and you're never gonna have to deal with when it doesn't go all the way down to the wick, because I've seen that happen so much. So we stall at this fair value up here, but then eventually we continue lower. Yeah, that was a good trade from Jan. I mean, it was break even for him, but I probably would have taken profit at this LRLR here. So, did FA actually full port at open? That's crazy. FA's actually the GOAT. Like, it's actually kind of crazy. Anyway, let's look at other trades you could have taken, just to be observant here. I think the main one was this 2 p.m. power 3. We get manipulation into this fair value gap, closure above. I would have taken this breaker up to that new day opening gap. That's the trade I would take there. As far as this inversion goes, let's talk about this inversion because it looks decent. We're delivering from a fair value gap, and it fails. So let's figure out why this inversion fails. This one is an interesting one to talk about, right? Because you have accumulation, manipulation, and you close above. Here's the thing. I think the reason this failed, and I could be wrong. I'm still trying to get better. But if we go, first of all, let's go look at where this happened, right? This happened at 11:25, 11:40, 11:25. So we end up getting SMT after the inversion, right? So that's one thing. But this 5-minute inversion, I think the biggest issue with this is understand where your entry is relative to most of the liquidity. I mean, this, you could argue like this would still be a fine trade. And yeah, it definitely could have been a fine trade, honestly. I'm not saying like I wouldn't take this and I would not have been lost. I probably would have taken this and it probably would have been a loss. But I think a valid reason for it to be not taken is the entry is so high relative to the range that you're targeting. For instance, compare this to this. The range we're targeting is all of this, right? So this is where people are going to get stopped out. You enter down here. So conceptually, you're entering below where everyone else is going to get stopped out. If you take this, what's different about this? Your entry is where your take profit is supposed to be. Because you're supposed to take profit at the end of the candle bodies. What RR is this? If you're taking profit at the end of the candle bodies, that's a 0.4 to 1 risk reward. So, sure, maybe it would have continued up higher like eventually it did. But, it might just be more risk than it's worth to take this. And so if I see something like this in the future, I probably won't take it for that reason. Even though it could work, if we close too high relative to the accumulation range, I'm not taking a trade like that because it's too much risk for the reward. But then later on, after we get that 5-minute inversion, we consolidate a little bit, and then eventually, I think we do get inverse for value gap back to the upside. Yeah, we get inverse for value gap back to the upside here, and this is light bulb, right? This is light bulb. This 30-second inversion later on. This is light bulb, and I would definitely take this. This, like the 5-minute one, you're way too high relative to the accumulation range. This 30-second, you're situated perfectly. You get good RR as well, and you're not too high up in the range. I mean, think about it, right? The other trade, your take profit would have been 0.4 to 1, so it'd be here. This trade, you take profit at the end of the candle bodies, you get a 1.8 to 1. So there's a clear difference, right? There's a clear difference in the conceptualizing, like where you're entering relative to the range. In this one, you're entering in a clear discount, right? You're entering in a clear discount. The other one, this 5-minute, you're entering in a premium relative to the accumulation range. So like very subtle, but it makes a difference. If you're entering where you should be taking profit because these people are getting stopped out like literally right here, it's probably not as good of a trade. So in the future, if I get an inverse value gap with it closes this high relative to the range, I'm not gonna take it, right? Which you could argue made this trade bad, right? That's probably why we retraced so much. But I knew with good momentum, we should at least go run these highs here. I knew that we had such good momentum, we should go run these highs. And what possibly would have been better is utilizing this Reaper for value gap. Oh my gosh. Can we talk about the Reaper real quick? This is crazy. Reaper for value gap right here. So the fair value gap in discount of our breaker block, you can see this does wonders. Boom. Reaper for value gap, lifting all the weight. Might have to use this more often, to be honest. But then after this, so like, sure, initially, like, maybe you don't take that trade. I think maybe this 5-minute was okay. In the future, I'm gonna try not to take this. I think you're already entering. Sure, yes, you have a good accumulation range up here, but you're already entering. Once you take out the highs of this range, it's a little scary. I'm not gonna lie, it's a little scary. If I was to retake this, I wouldn't take it until we backtest this Reaper for value gap, and then on this low time frame inversion, on this 1-minute inversion, I would take this delivering from the Reaper. This is how I would refine this to be a lot better of a trade, where we get a 1-minute inversion delivering from the Reaper, and I would, instead of getting a 1-to-1, I would get a 1.5-to-1, which would be better RR anyways. So you can see how patience is always going to reward you. If you don't just have fear of missing out, you won't take, you'll miss trades, sure, but then you'll get better trades because you had patience. So as well, another possibility was us retracing here, and then I would have loved to take this. So, but we did not get that. So in the future, I'm going to be a little bit more patient. I'm not going to enter on this 5-minute close. Even though I wanted to, I feel like that was probably more fear of missing out. And my psychology needs to be a little better than that. So I'm gonna be better. I'm glad it was a win, but it's a good lesson that, like, honestly, it was a good lesson that essentially what I'm trying to say is it was valuable to learn from. I'm not going to take that same trade again. That's really what it is. I will take, when we retrace down into this Reaper for value gap, I will take this 1-minute inversion off of it. This would have been much, much better. And you could even have taken this breaker for value gap on the low time frame, and this would have been like pretty good RR actually, going into the 1020 to 1040 macro. So yeah, I mean, you can see how if you just refine your trades, you will get a lot better entries. Like, this is a breaker, this is a fair value gap. Okay, if we get a move going into the 1020 to 1040 macro, and then we run all that liquidity. So, but that's why risk management comes in. You're gonna make stupid mistakes. Sometimes you're gonna lose trades, and you can be a mediocre trader, and you can still win a lot if you just have good psychology. So that's why every day I'm gonna keep working on my psychology. I think it's so important. And then later on, let's see. Yeah, this was the trade that we talked about before. Honestly, everyone's looking at this on the 5-minute, but you really could have even taken it on the lower time frame. You could have taken this on the 2-minute, and yeah, I would probably just consider taking this on this 2-minute close above. You could also wait for this retrace, but I'd probably enter here. And this would have had a lot better RR if you put your stop loss at that low of this breaker. I mean, I'm not sure I would do that. I'd probably put stop loss below the fair value gaps. Just because, why not, right? I'd probably put stop loss there. Now, it gets kind of tricky because I would normally like to take profit here, and that's only 0.5 to 1. So, I don't know. But yeah, if you took profit then near the opening gap, it'd be a 1.5 to 1. Realistically, I would have taken this on the 5-minute, which is fine. Right. So, yeah, we ended up getting SMT here too. So it's just like, there's always something to learn. There's always something to learn. This is why we journal. This is why we write stuff down. We end up getting SMT here. Always something to learn. Man, I'm getting kind of tired though. I genuinely, like, I'm not gonna get enough sleep tonight if I try and do everything. So I might just let it be for today. And I don't know. I might film a short form video, but I don't know about a long form video. Like, I want to, but I'm gonna be so tired. So, oh, we gotta journal the trade. Okay, let's go ahead and do that. Yeah, let's just do it. So, if it'll load. Yeah, I wanna film more, but I'm literally not gonna. I'm so tired. I'll just wake up early. Okay, sheets, boom. Trading accounts. Alright, let's go to the trade that I took today. So the trade I took was this 5-minute inversion. What, maybe I should do like a post-trade, a pre-trade rating and a post-trade rating. Now, see, now, that's interesting. I like that idea. That'll prevent me from doing stupid stuff. If I have to give myself a pre-trade rating, like, okay, I rate this B. Well, then why are you taking it, bro? Oh, my gosh. I like that. Let's add that to the pre-trade and post-trade rating. That's so good. That's gonna help me. That's gonna help me a lot. Oh my gosh, my computer's so laggy right now. Okay, this is a good idea. Oh, wait, I literally can't put it there. Wait, maybe I can. Okay, we're good. Okay, so the trade I took was this 5-minute IPG targeting this LRLR. Unfortunately, I can't do a pre-trade rating, but I will give a post-trade rating. What's my win rate? Right now, 43% win, 16% break even. So do the math. It's only 40% loss. So I'm right now I'm sitting barely in like profitability. According to my spreadsheet, I'm not gonna say I'm profitable. I'm still getting better. But according to my spreadsheet, right now I'm 43% and 16 break even. So I hope that makes sense. 43% plus 16%. So it's not like. So I'm winning more than I'm losing right now. So anyway, I'm still trying to get better, right? Okay, so what I was saying, I should do a post-trade and a pre-trade rating. So this trade I took today was this 5-minute IPG. In the moment, I thought it was decent, but I definitely, if I'm being completely honest, I think the adrenaline of the moment got to me, and I thought this was better than it was because we had good momentum, but you need to have a good spot for your stop loss, and the only good spot is really below these up close candles. So with that in mind, you have really bad risk reward. And so even though like I thought this in the moment was decent, right? I ended up having to put my stop here for a 1-to-1, and this made it kind of scary, right? Because in case we did come tap this breaker, it's gonna be really close to my stop loss. So if I were to redo this, I would probably rate this. If my post trade rating for this trade is, I'm gonna rate this. I'm not gonna say it's a C. It's probably a B. If I'm being honest, it's probably a B, maybe B minus, just because. Yeah, we have good liquidity. We have good Actually, no, it's definitely not. It's definitely not B minus. It's a B. I can't decide. Like, it was pretty clear we were gonna go run this high, but I definitely think this was more fear of missing out. I'm gonna give it a B minus. Post trade rating B minus. So, reason being, and I'll put like a little like spot to put the reasoning. Reasoning. Okay, post trade rating. Looking back at the trade, I knew the market was expanding higher, but targeting the LRLR above. But to be completely fair, I entered a little high up, and there was not really a great spot for my stop loss. Not a terrible trade, but if I had been patient for another 5 minutes, I think it was like 5 minutes, I would have got something A+ with better R. yeah, I think that's pretty reasonable. Looking back at it, so in the future, I'll try and be more precautious when we close super high like this. I'm gonna just be a little more careful. I mean, because I would have much preferred to have taken the trade after we get this retracement and we pull down into this breaker, these series of up close candles. I would have much preferred to have taken a trade where we have this 2 minute Reaper for value gap. I would have much preferred to have taken a 1 minute inversion off of the Reaper like this. And you can see that this would have been, instead of a 1-to-1, this would have probably been a 2.3 to 1 if I had just been a little bit more patient and waited for this inversion off of the Reaper for value gap. So that's okay. I'm not like super upset. I think the trade was fine, but as always, I'm gonna be picky so I can get better. So yeah, if I just waited a little bit longer, I would have got a much better RR trade. Oh shoot, I put this in the wrong spot. So I believe I had one contract, only one contract, which is kind of funny. So we'll put that there. So, okay, you can't see my screen, whoops. So I believe we only had one contract. And yeah, I don't have a pre-trade rating. What the? Convert to table. Low key, that looks kind of nice. I think you just don't put TP only stop loss. You need a TP. I mean, if you want to make money, you need a TP, bro. But you're right. Look at this. If you had just held this, because obviously, I knew the market's gonna expand higher. I get what you're saying. Like, you're like, bro, why are you taking profit? You could just hold all day. And that's the end goal is like I could catch crazy RR trades because I know the higher time frame bias. But in the short term, I'm just trying to turn profitable. I'm not gonna be picky. Term, I'll possibly look for higher RR trades because I did know the higher time frame bias was gonna be bullish today. So theoretically, you could have held, like, you could keep holding up to go fill. See, look at this. We have this giant overnight gap. Like, this should get filled, right? So theoretically, if you held this to get filled, that'd be 18 to 1 if you just took that entry and then just held it. Now, I'm not doing that. But I am saying down the road, theoretically, when you know the higher time frame bias, you can take trades like that. But I'm not going to do that yet. I'm still trying to get better. So, back to what I was saying on the chart here. January 28th. Copy trade. Man, the table does look kind of nice, though. The table does look kind of nice. I don't know. It kind of looks overwhelming. If I'm being honest, I'm not gonna keep it. It looked kind of overwhelming. Okay. Copy trade. Literally, if you were in the bathroom for 2 minutes, you could have made an extra 1 RR. Yeah. Yeah. No, I knew we were gonna go continue higher. I actually was pretty sure today was. Well, not today necessarily, but I knew the higher time frame was gonna expand eventually because we get this giant SMT and we have this overnight gap. So I don't know if you know about overnight gaps if you watch my video on them, but basically what you do, quick, really valuable lesson. This you go back test this, but I promise you it's the craziest thing, right? Turn your chart. You can't see it right now. So turn your chart into regular trading hours right here. Boom. See that? Now, whoops. Now you can see all the overnight gaps. So the market loves to come back and fill these, right? I can give a plenty of examples where you just come back and fill these overnight gaps. So let me just go through a few examples, right? Here's an overnight gap. The market draws back up to it like a magnet. Overnight gap, the market draws down to it. Overnight gap, the market draws down to it. Overnight gap, the market draws up to it. So the market's constantly being drawn back towards these overnight gaps. And so this next area, I'm expecting this overnight gap to get filled, right? But we also got this giant SMT. So, yeah, basically what I'm trying to say is I knew the higher time frame was probably going to keep expanding higher, but I'm just trying to turn profitable. Down the road, we can make a billion, quadrillion dollars. Right now, I just want to focus on getting out of this room, dude. If that makes sense. Like right now, I just want to turn profitable. I mean, I am $300 away from a payout on a 50K right now. So I'm so close, man. Like, so for instance, 50,000. It's a $50,000 account, and I'm at 52,250 or something. So I have to get to 52,600 to get a payout. But like, right now I'm just trying to turn profitable. I'm trying to get that first payout and then keep expanding. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Go watch all my videos, binge watch them. I'm gonna try and make these what's it called? I'm gonna try and make these live streams more interesting. I know a lot of people have been saying not a lot of people have been saying they're boring, but I know they're boring, right? I know they're boring. It's hard to watch because I don't really make sense when I'm talking. Thanks, bro. It's hard to watch these because it's like I use a lot of vocabulary and like it's kind of hard sometimes because I'm literally just trying to like point out what I see, but I'm going to try and do a better job of just keeping things super simple, and I think more people will enjoy it. It's not about like trying to be technical. It's about just teaching you guys and helping you guys, and I like, you know what I mean. So with that in mind, let's go back and finish journaling this. So boom. When this was, I believe this was a 1.2 to 1. Can we go to the low time frame and check? Where'd it go? Where'd the trade go? I don't think it really boring. I low-key like the source. That's good. That's good that you don't think it's boring. I think a lot of other people think it's boring. But like I was saying, yeah, so the trade, I think it was kind of weird because I put my stop loss here. It should have been a 1-to-1. It probably ended up being like a 1.2 to 1. So I'm just going to put 1.2. Okay, because here's the issue, right? I made 273 for risking 200, but I actually didn't risk 200. It was more like risked 250 or 230 probably. Let's just put 1.2 to 1. I think that's a fair, reasonable thing to put down. 1.2. Okay. I don't know if that made any sense. Sorry, I'm just kind of talking. Probably didn't make any sense. But yeah, let's just fill up this spreadsheet. All right, bet. So my win rate apparently, according to the spreadsheet right now, is 46%. So that's pretty good with a 16% break-even rate. So my non-loss rate is do the math, 56%, 64%, my non-loss rate, right? Which is, I mean, that's pretty good. I'm pretty happy with 64% not loss rate, right? So, dude, my rating just went up to 1225. What's the average RR? 1.2 to 1 right now. So that's what this number means. You think what's pretty low, the win rate or the RR? I mean, yeah, my win rate's still. I'm still working on turning profitable, so of course the win rate's low. I'm telling you, I'm still working on getting profitable, but yeah, down the road, like I'm gonna hopefully keep getting better. So yeah, I mean, you're not going to become the greatest trader overnight. It takes years. Like right now, oh, the RR. Yeah, the RR is pretty low. Right now, the average RR is 100 or 1.2 to 1. But that's okay. Right now, I'm just focusing on these small wins to try and turn profitable, and then down the road, I can shoot for 2 to 1s. And I mean, I've been shooting for 2 to 1s sometimes, but down the road, I'm gonna hopefully go for 3 to 1s. I'm not gonna change the RR, but what I'm saying is like, I'll still be shooting for the same RR, but I'll allow my runners to go further. Probably is what I'm trying to say. Anyway, I gotta finish this. So this is where I record all my stats. I don't know. I'm kind of a nerd for this, but this is like the ultimate page for my statistics. What about you trying to find the strategy to not be less than 2R? No, but like, oh, I think I get what you're saying. I think 2R is like my sweet spot. That's my own personal preference. But right now, I really just want to turn profitable. I'm focused on just making sure I'm I'm making wins. If you like I will build up to consistent 2R, but right now I'm just focused on I'm okay with 1 to 1s. I just need to make sure I'm winning, right? Cuz you have to realize half the trade battle in trading is psychological. If you take a loss, that can affect your next trade. Like you think you're not as good of a trader. I don't know. I'm not saying like um to let it affect you, but I'm saying subconsciously like if you can keep your win rate higher even just subtly, it affects your psychology. Like it helps you make sure you're taking higher probability trades. It's hard to explain, but like it's something you just learn over time. Like just make and then over time when you get really really good and really really comfortable with your edge, then you can allow your win rate to go down and you're probably fine, right? Because you're super comfortable and you're super confident. Yeah, exactly. Like if you lose too much and you don't keep your like if like even if you have a really good edge, right? Like let's say your win rate's 35%, but your RR is 3 to 1, right? You're gonna the 65% of the time you lose, you have to be comfortable with that. You have to feel comfortable with that. And that's hard for like human beings, right? It's counterintuitive, and so just for my sanity, right now I'm just trying to make sure I take wins. And I mean, obviously I'm not gonna win every time, but I'm just trying my best to keep lower RR until I get better. So this is basically, whoops, all my stats. It's kind of just for my own fun, but basically I put this in here, and then I like to average it out, so I average this out, and so I made a custom like uh, a trading rating. It calculates my trading rating. It takes in my profit factor, or it takes in my win rate, and it takes in all this information, and it does some crazy stuff, and it calculates I don't know if you've ever done played chess, but like you can you get a chess rating after you play a game, right? And that chess rating goes up or down after every chess game. Well, the same thing is with this, right? If I win a trade or take a win, my rating goes up, it goes down, and then I just take the average of it here. So right now, according to my spreadsheet, my rating is 1,046. So pretty sweet. And so then I'm plug the win rate in. and then take the average of that. But yeah, the last couple days have been really good. I'm not going to get my hopes up. I'm not going to assume I'm profitable yet. But I hope that soon I can break through. I'm hoping that soon. Okay, and then break even. Copy this over. I got to get my break even rate up. I'm trying to get my break even rate to like over 25%. The best traders, they usually have pretty high break even, or maybe not all of them. Everyone trades differently, but like if you like a lot of good traders have really high break even rates because they know like by having it break even, they're preventing their losses, right? And theoretically, it makes a lot of sense. If the market comes all the way back to your break even, that like kind of defeats the whole point of the trade. The whole point is it's usually some kind of momentum shift or some kind of key level that's springing the market forward. If it comes back, why did it come back? Like it probably shouldn't have. So by it coming back to your break even, you're really just preventing a loss. At least that's the way that I see it. So I want a high break even rate. I want to keep my break even rate relatively high. Okay, loss rate. Let's see. Right now, it's 36%. Plug this in. Boom. Boom. Take the average of that. You can't see my screen. Sorry. Oh, I can't calculate the psychology score yet. Profit factor. Okay, drag all these over. Sweet. And then I did follow my rules today. Nice. If I get rid of that and then I take the average again, is that going to change it? It does change it. No, I think I'll just do the regular average, including 0 days. That makes sense. I don't know why I wouldn't include the 0 days. Now that I think about it, yeah, why wouldn't I include 0 days? That'd be stupid not to. Okay. Sweet, man. Looking good. Okay. Man, yeah, the last 4 days have been pretty good. In the future, I'm gonna make sure I journal my trade in the actual journal channel, but I think for now I'm just gonna call it since I essentially talked about it in the video. Yeah, I think we're good. I'm trying my best. Okay, I'll see you guys in the next one.